Here's how you can excel at answering situational questions on your podcast interview. Now, stay with me on this one. I'm going to give you some solid tips regarding this question. But before we dive there, I just want to make sure that you know I'm giving general answers to these questions. And I'm always happy to meet all of you guys and even go deeper and, give you some techniques as well. So if you feel like you have extra insights, feel free to share them down in the comments. If you want to know more, feel free to DM me. I'm always happy to support where it makes sense. Now let's get into it. When you are having this type of interviews, please, please, please make sure you take your time. Nobody is rushing you. I had like this situation where some guests would just want to answer questions faster because they feel like the silent gap is gonna just be cringe or something, and they feel the need of like, oh, I want to just answer her immediately so she won't think I'm stupid or I'm dumb or something, right? We don't want to have that, right? So you want to make sure that you already communicated these things with your guests. And if you're like a guest, make sure that you understand the concept of the podcast and make sure to communicate like your needs in terms of like these type of questions of like, I will have some moments to think from time to time. Is there going to be some edits for this podcast, or are you going to just air it live? Like, because the situation is going to change. If it's live, then you will have to kind of answer immediately, but not in terms of immediately. You can just take your time of like thinking and be like, oh, okay, let me think about that. I think, and then you kind of like just take your time to think about it and put that, answer out there. But if the podcast is already, going to be edited, they have like a production team like Podcast Inc. Um, Tell them like, hey, is the podcast going to be edited? Is there any kind of production after this? And if they say yes, then pretty much you're free. You don't have to rush into things. You have the question, take your time, think, give the answer, because that time is going to be either way edited, and it's not going to be even obvious to people. So this is one of the tips that I wanted to share with you today. Make sure to leave some comments, share, like this video, and see you guys on the next one.